It's 3 o'clock. Here we go. All right. It says we're live. So, welcome from the Crossroads of America, a talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Answer questions from the audience, either in the chat or by email at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page, PayPal, all the other stuff in the description below. I haven't added the new one yet. The, for the AR stand from R&L Displays, and use Rick's Life and get a 15% discount. So there you go. Just putting that out there. Anyway, let's see who was first in the chat, because everybody's just coming in now. First in was G23, then Rich White, then 2 Live Moo, Patriot in the Dark, Raphael, Jason. So there's all starting to come in, and most of those are in the chat. So on my panel. So let me start up with the one up here in the corner. Rich, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
All right, then we got the one and only from New York Outcast.
Doing well. Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah. And I see 2 Live Moo put in the link for the display stand. Don't forget, Rick's Life, 15% discount code. So, Jason, how you doing?
Oh, not doing too bad. Thanks for your invite.
That's all right. And if you want to ship one of those cans over my way, I wouldn't say no. Then we got Willie Well Armed. How you doing?
Good. I had a twin birthday, 10-year-old girls last night and boys this night. So I'm right in the middle of the quiet of the storm. But thanks for having me.
All right. So that's right, because you got twins, right?
Yeah, twins. They just turned 10. So
yeah,
the girls went rock climbing, and then the boys went treetop cable climbing.
Okay.
So so the girls had a sleepover last night. The boys are tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fun. So
It's good stuff.
All right. So that's the panel at the moment, and I said people starting to come into the chat. Now. So anyway, as I was saying, be honest with you, I was kind of put out this morning because when I come in here and start setting stuff up, I normally listen to show in the morning, Caliber Corner, from Travis, and he stole my topics. So
I kind of noticed that.
Yeah, he stole my topics. Because I already thought of those. But since
I've had that happen too.
First, but what I wanted to mention, where I asked about my thing is, I think what's my main title? They're talking about ammo. Now he said where he went to I guess it's a box store. Was it yesterday or the day before? And they had a shelf full of 9mm. Boxes and boxes
For
and
like
boxes.
$17. 17 something a box, he said too.
So
I was like, dang, I wish I had a store like that.
So I plan on going to a couple of gun stores, in the next I don't get paid until next week. So so I plan on going to the gun stores around here, see what they have. Because it seems to me, I've been seeing it on the internet, not a lot, but I've been seeing it on the internet as well. Availability seems to be more there. So is it coming back? It must be. But then
I've seen some in my area, but it's still way overpriced. Way overpriced.
The limited supply could still be there, but maybe less people are buying now, which makes it kind of stay on the shelf a little longer.
Yeah, last night during Gary's show, Snob had sent Gary an article where they were interviewing different CEOs and people that work for the different ammunition. Yeah, I'll spit it out eventually. Ammunition manufacturers like Federal, Winchester, Remington, and all those. And they were saying they're not looking until next year to where things are going to be back to normal. At the very least, at the earliest. So, yeah, there's also been cases where people were starting to sell off guns too. So I'm wondering if some of this is because the new people were, since things have started to die down in certain areas and people aren't as scared as what they were, if maybe people are selling off their guns, and like Jason was saying, it's not so much that there's more supply out there as there's less people buying it because some of the new people might be starting to sell off their guns.
Yeah, that's what I said that a couple of weeks ago. I would imagine that's going to start happening. Because people, I mean, don't get me wrong, if they stay in the gun community and want the Second Amendment, great. But I got a feeling that most of those 5 to 8 million new gun owners aren't going to change their political views. You know what I'm saying? Just because they got one gun sitting in a shoebox in their wardrobe, which they're going to sell now because their town doesn't have any more riots.
Yeah, I mean, you look at.
But why would they sell now? I mean, they're still talking about defunding the police. I mean, the riots aren't happening now, but we're just one police shooting from another whole summer of riots. So I think I don't see people selling guns.
Oh, but it doesn't seem logical to do it. But we're talking about the left here. When have they ever been logical? Let's be perfectly honest on that one. So I get your point, but at the same time, they're doing it. You're seeing more used guns in certain areas hitting the gun stores and such. So,
yeah, I've bought in a few lately and seen a lot. It seemed like used gun, brand new, never been fired.
Yeah.
Yep. I just say some places it's harder to get a gun, so it seems like quite a waste to go through such a process and pay for all the BS to get approved and this and that to be able to get your first gun, and then turn around and sell it a few months later. That in those places, I don't know. I'm sure people would, but I don't think the numbers would be the same everywhere.
Yeah, but I can understand what you're saying there because you're behind enemy lines.
Yeah,
I mean, in a free state here, I don't need anybody's permission to buy a gun.
I get Rob's point, but again, it comes back to my point on logic. When it comes to these kind of things, has the left ever been logical?
They haven't. They aren't. They never are. But anyway, I mean, I'm just saying, and I
Valid point.
Back to my thing about the ammo. I mean, he was saying there was plenty there. I mean, but I got a feeling the last thing that's going to come back is primers.
My local gun store has this new brand of Czech ammo. It's SAS or SA something. They've got a pallet of that. It's $37.99 a case. Then they got S&B behind the counter, another pallet of it, and another pallet of Fiocchi. And so they don't have prices on those two. But another guy told me 3 weeks ago, after this set $37.99 sells out $37.99 per box sells out. They got some cheaper stuff coming in, so I'm pretty sure that's the Fiocchi and S&B. But they're not selling it. They won't give a price on it. They just said it's not for sale yet. So that was Thursday. So there's some ammo coming in. It's going to get cheaper than 37. I don't know how much cheaper, but it's coming.
What is that? I mean, is that what caliber is that for 37?
That's $37.99. So it's everything I'm talking about is 9mm.
Okay.
I don't remember if it's 124 or 115.
$37.99 for a box of 50.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? To be honest with you, when it comes to the Fiocchi, that doesn't surprise me because that stuff comes out of Italy, and Italy is still not manufacturing like they could be because they're still.
Fiocchi's made in America.
Well,
Fiocchi's
some
made
of it
in
is.
America now.
Some of it is. Some of it's made in Italy. It depends on what lot it is.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't give you a choice at your shop. I mean, if they have 3 different pallets sitting there,
Well,
there would be different prices, but to sell the cheaper stuff now at more of a premium, not ridiculous, but more of a premium, seems smarter business than waiting till possibly things go down a little bit, and then you're just sitting on cheap shit to sell.
Well, they gotta get rid of the expensive no name brand because I've never heard of this Czech Republic brand of ammo. But
I'd assume if you put it all out, people would buy the cheap shit up, and then that expensive shit would have to get bought at some point.
Well, they're trying to force people to buy the expensive.
They don't want to be stuck with it.
Yeah. They don't want to get stuck with it. So it's
but I'd come in there and see that and be like, these assholes, I'm not buying that. Now I got to wait for a pallet worth of shit just to get that. Like,
yeah, I mean,
you're sitting on a gold mine that I can't touch.
If I was behind the counter, I would say take it or leave it, Rob.
That's right. So for the last 6 months, I've been
I'd hate that shop.
and you would say leave it.
I should have bought the remanufactured, buy a $37 box of good ammo and keep that. And, so I'm shooting remanufactured and buying 2 boxes of good ammo. But now, that I know the Fiocchi and the SMB are in the background, I'm only buying 1 box, to replace. But I'm never going to let anything go down of those 3,000 rounds I bought in January.
I got 3 boxes of Fiocchi 9mm right here. One of them is a 124 grain. 2 of them are the 115s. I bought them all within a month, and all 3 of these boxes say made in Italy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It all depends on which lot you get. I've had Fiocchi that was made in the U.S., like what Wielding Well Armed was saying, and I've had others. Most of what I've had of Fiocchi has actually been made in Italy. But I have had a box here or there that was made in the U.S. too.
I know I gave right around like $14.99, $15.99 for these when I bought them. I mean, that's like before all this happened, my gun store was selling Fiocchi because I used to buy it all the time, and it was only a couple dollars more. It was like $12.99 or something, back a year and a half ago. So for when I came across it for only being like $15-$16, I couldn't pass it up.
Well, I mean, in June of 2020, I bought a 1,000 rounds from my range at $199 and that was either Fiocchi. I think it's Fiocchi 124.
Yeah,
so that's $9.99 a box.
Yeah, I remember, the normal price, you should be able to have picked up like 500 rounds of 9mm for like $105. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That should have been the normal price. So, 1,000 rounds would be, like 210, but you usually used to get a little bit of a deal on that, maybe find it for like 189 or something. But,
yeah,
that was back when I was a young man.
Yeah. And you say, oh, well, I'll pass that up because I'll come and get it next week or next payday. But now, you wish you'd bought it. So, yeah, I plan on, I think I might go shooting again this, shoot my 22. And I might shoot I might just take one magazine with me and take the AR and get those iron sights tuned in, because I don't want to waste my ammo, So, but then again, if there's 5.56 223 on the shelf around here, then I'm going to buy some. Have to find out first.
Did you do anything to break in your barrel, Rick, or did you just start shooting and then come home and clean it?
Just started shooting, then came home and cleaned it. Why?
I was over on the Georgia Reloading Connection last night, and they had some good conversations going, and they were all giving their input on what they do to break in a barrel, brand new on a rifle. 1 shot, clean it. 2 shots, clean it. 2 shots, clean it. And keep doing that for like 20, 30 rounds, get the barrel broke in.
Now, see, now I can't think of the name. I've watched a couple of videos, and in the last 15 years or 10 years, the manufacturing is so tight. Guns don't need breaking in anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because they're made to such a high specification now. I mean, no gun needs breaking in anymore. Now, I mean, there might be, like, if you get a 1911, that's one of those handmade jobbies that's real tight. I mean, you might have to shoot 100 rounds through it to loosen it up, but you're not actually breaking anything in because they're already set to go. That's what I've heard anyway. I mean, what do I know? You've been guns more longer than I have, but.
Well, there's definitely guns that still need broken in.
You think so?
You get a semi-auto shotgun, you have to break them in before they're going to fire just bird shot, stuff like that, depending on which shotgun it is. Like you get one of the AK shotguns, for example, and you have to fire so many rounds of buckshot through those before you even attempt to fire any birdshot through them, otherwise they won't cycle.
That's a lot of those Turkish shotguns that have issues with that, like where a Remington or a Mossberg doesn't need the break-in period.
Yeah, I think these guys are more oriented like your AR, or we're talking about that. These kind of like a defensive battle weapon. You know what I mean? It needs to just go out and work. These guys are breaking in barrels for their hunting rifle. You know what I mean? They're in it for the accuracy. They're building their rounds for that rifle, for the accuracy in the hunt. You know, but they seem to all have their basic procedures for breaking in barrels that they said, till you can show me difference, they're not going to change. But they all seem to agree on better accuracy.
I don't believe it myself. So, but then again, what in the hell do I know?
Yeah, but a lot of those high-end hunting rifles, they're only good for 1,000 rounds, and they need to replace the barrel. So, what they're doing is critical. I mean, when you're shooting, a 300 PRC or the new 6.5 PRC or 308 Lapua, those rounds have short barrel life, and so if they can have to swab it every time or clean the barrel between 1 and 2 shots, for the first 5 rounds, and maybe get 500 more shots out of a barrel, it's worth their time.
Yeah, I mean, I can see. I wouldn't call it breaking in, but maybe so. If you're one of these long distance shooters, that try to nail in your 3 bullets all in the same hole at 1,000 yards, sort of like a sniper type rifle. But if everyday shit that I do, I can't. I don't think that you need a break-in period, personally.
If you buy like a Christian Arms, it's a $3,000 bolt action, and they say it's not going to be accurate till it's got 65 rounds through it. So there is something about breaking in high-end rifles. It's like a 1911.
Yeah, there's certain manufacturers of handguns in the manual. They tell you that their gun will have a break-in period of anywhere between 250 to 500 rounds. So,
show me a manual from in the last 10 years that says that.
There are some of the SIGs have that in their manuals.
You know, I'm gonna pretend I'm from Missouri. Show me. You know.
I know every Beretta pistol, like their 92 series guns, every one of those gets broke in at the factory. They got machines that work the slides and the action on them like 250 or 500 times in like a minute. Just they kind of break them, wear those guns in before you even get them, and then every one of them of a Beretta is test fired, and it's test fired with a proof round, and then it's test fired again with the regular round again. So they get fired at least 3 times and cycled several hundred times before you even get them.
Yeah, CZs are in the factory. Worked the actions worked 1,000 times, no less than 1,000 times.
Yeah, G23 out there said Glock. So I'm assuming he's saying that Glock has that in their manual.
Oh, I thought he coughed, and he just said Glock.
Glock. What do you expect? My Smith & Wessons worked great as soon as I got them home.
Yeah, it's the same with my Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, that's just what I did.
My Smith & Wesson, I picked it up at the gun store. This is when I was in Rhode Island. I picked that Smith & Wesson 45 up at the gun store, which happened to have a shooting range. I went and shot it before I even got it out of the store. You know, I had no problems with it. You know,
I had a Colt 1911 that gave me fits for at least 250 rounds. But it ended up, it wasn't really magazines. It wasn't anything. There was an actual burr that you could catch your fingernail on the feed ramp of that barrel. And it was just catching the case and keeping it from feeding and jamming up. And I mean, it jammed itself up, double fed, locked itself up like 100 times that day. I was beating it on the table like a hammer to get it to just kind of jiggle and release so I could get the shells out of it. It was damaging every one. And I remember I shot like 250 out of that before it started to kind of have some repeatability to it, but it would jam round after round after round after round. I kept saying, this is going right back to Colt. This is going back to Colt. But when I went home and cleaned it, I just stoned it just a little bit and then polished it all up and never had a problem again.
Yeah, in that case, you just polished the feed ramp is basically what you did. And
Yeah. I didn't do any machining or anything on it, but it just had a burr that you could feel with your finger. And when you were, and I don't know if it really started out that bad or if it was getting damaged, you know what I mean, from all the jams, because it wasn't just like 1 or 2 jams. It was like several hundred jams. So, but whatever, I cleaned that up a little bit, and that's was a pretty good gun till I broke the sights on it, but we got it all back together. Yeah, it was that gun.
You just having all kinds of bad luck with that thing.
Oh man, when it goes, it goes, man. But it was a cheaper Colt, just a plain government 1911, nothing fancy at all on it. It was just going to be a little range blaster, but it has gave me fits. But sometimes when I get a gun, it gives me problems, and I don't give up, and I just stay at it until that gun's doing good. You kind of build a relationship with that gun. And it's kind of one of your favorite guns now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
it's not a marriage, Jason. Jeez.
The hell it ain't.
Get rid of it and buy another.
Yeah.
It's a family here, buddy. All my weapons are my children. I love them all.
Yeah.
Jason probably pays more for his guns than he has to in his past alimony payments. So, in his case, it might be a marriage.
Yeah. G23 says Glock's work.
At least his gun horse.
But in the manual,
it's a hammer.
breaking period. So there you go.
Yeah, I traded all my complainers for a whole bunch of bangers.
At least Jason's guns respect him in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go that far. Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, moving on to the next topic, which was also touched on the early show when he is because I was thinking about the ammo situation, talking about dry firing and stuff. But do you lose your edge by not going to the range? I mean, are you as fast? Are you on target every time you pick a gun up, no matter what the length is in between shooting? For me, I noticed it takes me maybe a magazine or two to get back on target, shooting and stuff, if I haven't shot for a while. But it's there. The motion's there. The mechanics are there, but it's getting it, to hit the where the dead center where I'm aiming. But I don't know. Do you think you lose it if you don't use it? Because they say shoot is a perishable skill.
Yeah, it's an acquired skill. Any acquired skill where it takes practice, you're going to lose some of your edge if you're not practicing it. It's like people say you can just go right out and jump on a bike if you haven't ridden one for years, and it comes right back to you. Except for it doesn't always come right back to you. It takes a little while sometimes before you're fully comfortable on that bike. It's the same way with the gun. You got to use that skill, and if you don't use it for a while, you might be able to hit a target, but are you going to hit it as accurately as you could before?
But in those Western movies, the guy has his gun's been hidden for over a year. He finally straps it on, and he's still as fast as ever.
Yeah, and that's a movie, and some of those movies they never reload either. So I mean,
yeah.
Well, Bill Wilson was talking about this, and he said it is a perishable skill, but if you've shot, for X amount of years, 20 plus years, and you've shot, 3,000 rounds, 10,000 rounds per year, you're only going to lose a portion of it. You're not going to lose it all. You might go down 20%, but you're not going to go down 50%. So there is a certain level you can, and even, I don't know when Bill Wilson's ever taken 6 months off, but he said he did. And he said he came back and was able to shoot, 90% of where he used to be. So there is some type of level where you never completely lose that skill.
Yeah, that was my point. I mean, you'll lose a little bit off you're going to lose some of your edge on it, but are you going to be where you're not going to be able to hit a target you're aiming at?
Yeah, but that's not true for the plinker. That that's
I know. I'm talking about people like us who go out and shoot all the time. There's the average guy who's going out there with like a 22. They're not going to pick up a 9mm and be as accurate with a 9mm as they are if they only shoot 22 anyway. So I'm not even so that's why I wasn't even touching on that. I'm just touching on people that actually go out and shoot different calibers and whatnot. You're going to lose some of your edge, but you're not going to lose all of it.
I think there's a lot of different factors in it. Myself, I don't see much of a drop off. When I've had maybe now and then, maybe a target or two, but I set myself to a little higher standard. Like I'll look at a pattern I just shot, and you may think that was great, and I'm like mad at myself. I'm sitting down, collecting my thoughts and my breath, taking a cigarette, calming down, and just staring at that target and disgusted by my performance. So I think it just depends on how good were you before you had a break in shooting. You know what I mean? How good was your skills then? And how quick can you hop back in the saddle and be good again? I think it all depends on the person. I mean, some people are born scrubs, and some people are born studs. You know what I mean? That's why not every football player is the greatest football player ever. So I think it just depends on the person and what kind of standards you put on yourself. If you're a 10-inch group shooter at 10 yards, you know what I mean? That just might be what it is. You know what I mean? No matter if you've done it every day or not, there's different factors, your vision, your gun, the ammo you're using. But I don't think your skill falls off to where like you're a newbie starting all over again.
Yeah. I mean,
I
Yeah, go on.
I pretty much agree with what Wield and Well Arm was saying. Basically, kind of everybody touched on it. I think if you're naturally, you've done it a lot, you fall off, you're going to come back a little less than you were. But if you focus, you'll catch right back up in a sense. Same thing like a bike. Some people just ride a bike. Some people ride tricks on a bike. There's differences or whatever. But in a sense, though, there's also, I think people over focus on it because, most self-defense scenarios are pretty damn close. So obviously the better control, the better. But still, I don't think you're, if Jason didn't shoot for a year or Rich didn't shoot for a year and somebody was 12 feet away from you, I'm not too concerned that you're not going to hit the guy, in my opinion. That's just me, even maybe 20 feet. So somebody that's never really shot before, like completely fresh, I think they might hit him 20 feet or might miss him 20 feet away, but not somebody who's ever shot normally for a time. Whether it's a vital or, a good shot or not, but I'm pretty sure you're going to hit him. But that's just my thinking. I wouldn't say, rely on it. Like, you don't need to try or anything, but I do think some people focus on this like they're old, like ODing, overdosing on this to the point where I don't think it's that, we're putting too much attention on it, in my opinion.
I think you can really improve yourself dry firing. If you have the ability to see what you're doing when you dry fire and know what's good and know what's bad off watching your sights, and you really control yourself, you can do worlds of good dry firing. I think if you're taking time off and not able to get to the range, I don't think it's handling the gun. I don't think it's your placement of your sights and when you make that decision to pull the trigger. I think what would probably be the biggest concern is, have you lost any hand strength? That's where your dry firing can help you out again. If you still have incredibly good hand strength and you're on top of that, I think your shooting will be just fine.
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to not so much how fast you can pull the trigger, but how smoothly and how correctly you pull that trigger, and that's what dry fire can help you with.
How clean.
I mean, like when I dry fire, I like using the laser in the barrel for when whatever I'm aiming at, I can see how it moves when I actually, pull the trigger.
Yeah, I use stuff around the house here in the room. Like I point at my door. You can follow the crack along the sides of your door. You know what I mean? Where it meets the door frame. That is a nice skinny target. Okay, that'll really help you from your left to right aiming. You know what I mean? You'd be amazed how a little bit of practice, you can sit there and never move it at all. You will be on a perfect shot.
Oh yeah.
It's not hard to do once you get side by side. Up and down kind of takes care of itself. Once you get side by side, rock steady, you'll enjoy dry firing when you actually can tell that, man, that was a good one right there. But I use cracks. I use stuff that's small, something that'll give me a lot of feedback, looking at my sights, and try different things, try different grips, try different squeezing a little more with your offhand and try not squeezing none with your trigger hand. Just do different things and you'll find what's working for you.
Yeah.
Another thing that I'll aim at when dry firing is like there's an electric socket that's 10 to 15 feet away from me. I'll sit here and I'll aim at that.
Yeah, I've done that too. But like when I do go to the range, and I said I might have to go through a magazine or two to get back on thing about having is I like testing myself on a 6-inch target. Because I normally shoot still. I don't put a lot of paper up. I normally shoot still, and I normally do it from 20, 25 yards. Hit it, and I can normally hit a 6-inch target pretty regularly. with a firearm, with a handgun. Because you got to remember that's what I tested for to get my permit in Rhode Island was 25 yards with so that's what that's ingrained in me. And if I can hit a 6-inch target at 20 to 25 yards, I'm happy. I don't care. To me, it doesn't bother me if my bullet's all around the outside of that 6-inch target, long as I hit it. I don't care if I'm hitting it dead center or not, or should I?
So Rhode Island makes you shoot a 6-inch target at 25 yards.
Well, it's an Army L target.
Okay.
Right, which the circle is 10 inches, then the next circle is 9.
Right.
It can only be about 8 inches across.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify on that one.
Yeah, because you have 30 rounds, and you got to have a minimum of 195 score. Yeah. So the maximum would be 300, correct? If you hit the 10, you hit the circle, the 10 every time.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I be honest with you, I passed with a 205.
That's not too bad.
So, but that's what I'm saying. So that's why I do that, because you got to get within that 6 to 8 inch target to qualify, basically. I mean, if you hit,
Yeah, here you got to hit the center of a silhouette at 15, kind of like that silhouette you have on your door there.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, if I was shooting that target, long as I was inside the outer yellow ring, to me, as long as I hit that, the guy's going down if I'm being attacked. It's the way I look at it. I'm not trying to get it. I mean, yes, I would love to get every shot inside the red. That's what I'm trying for. But if I hit anywhere inside those yellow circles, I'm happy.
Right, we're not all competition shooters are going to hit that red circle. I mean, you gotta take into account. It's like mankind has got to know those limitations. I mean, you got to know what you're capable of doing, what you're not capable of doing.
Yeah, well, I'm saying if you hit inside the outer circle, if you hit anywhere inside that, you're hitting body mass if you're being attacked.
Yeah. Well, let's look at this. If you hit to will be my right of that red circle and that silhouette, just a little bit up and to the right, you're hitting in the heart. The heart's not even where that red circle is, or that red oval or oblong, whatever shape you want to call that, on that silhouette is at. You're in that area, you're hitting basically where the bronchial passages branch off into your lungs at that point. That's about where that red circle is. Your heart is actually off to the left a little bit of that. So, you hit to the left of that, and you have a good chance of hitting somebody in the heart. So, I mean, hitting that red circle is not all necessary for getting a killing shot on a person.
Actually, the red circle is too low. Everything you should be shooting is right above that red circle.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The most you're going to hit if you hit that red circle is going to be where your bronchial tubes branch off from your trachea.
Yeah, or top of your stomach or your backbone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gun-loving grandpa is telling me he uses the Mantis X Dry live fire system. I use the iPro Target system. I bought that years ago when I first started shooting. And that's what I use. I use those lasers. I don't set the whole system up. I don't put the target up. And I don't know, because you can set it up with your, I can set it up with the phone. And you put it below the target. And somehow when you hit the target, it shows up on your phone and you can get it to make sound effects and all kinds of good shit. I normally don't. All I do is normally just take the little, like this is my 380 right here. I'll just put that in my gun and practice shooting at the wall or the television or at the plug socket, whatever. It's what I normally do. So, but they're not cheap. honestly, that iPro target, that cost me $50 for that 380 laser bullet on its own. You know, but when you buy the system, which you get one, the caliber of your choice, you know, laser with it, then it's $50 for every extra one. So there's a catch to it. But I like it. Oh, unknown user had a good question. His original question, he said to me, before the pandemic, I had started consolidating my calibers to 9mm, 357, 223, and 12 gauge. Now I am diversifying, is that how you pronounce it? As much as I can due to the shortages. He wants to know, what's the panel's opinion on consolidation versus diversification? So we'll start with you, Rich.
Whatever you're most comfortable with. I mean, if you want to have a bunch of different calibers, that knock yourself out. If you just want to have a handful, I mean, it's all about what you're comfortable doing, what you can afford to do, and you know, I don't see a problem doing it either way. It's all about what you want to do. Like, for example, when it comes to rifle, I have the 223, 5.56, you know, the 7.62 by 39. That's what I mostly have for rifle. And then handgun, I got 9mm, 40 and 380, and 357. So I only have a couple of different calibers, but you know, I have different firearms that fire different calibers. So I mean, I'm not the most diversified, but I'm not the most consolidated in one caliber either. So
yeah. Oh, Tony must have just joined in the chat. He goes, we did this same thing on Caliber Corner this morning. That's what I said when I started the show, Tony. Caliber Corner stole my idea from me, because I had this topic in my head a few days ago. You know,
and not all of us made it to Caliber Corner this morning.
Yeah, you know, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You know, New York Outcast. What's your opinion on it? On the consolidation or diversification? How you pronounce it? Yeah. Are you with us? Or
I like the idea of having a lot of a few.
Do what? Are you having daiquiris again? Yeah. So we're moving on to Jason.
Yeah, I'm all for whatever makes you happy, man. If it keeps you happy, if it keeps you well armed, I don't think there's a bad call either way. Myself, I guess I'm more on the consolidation side. You know, I only deal with a few different types of pistols in my collection, and the rifles I have all kind of pretty much share the same calipers through. I got like, you know, 5.56, 30-30. I have some Russian guns, but that's pretty much about it. So my stuff is consolidated. I want to reload for everything, and you know, I'm big on replacement parts, new springs and everything, keeping everything up to date and fresh. So just to stay along the same platforms is what works for me. But if you want to have a gun in every caliber there is, hey man, good for you. Not going to badmouth that at all.
All right. What about you, Willem Armed?
I kind of was on the same track, you know, trying to do some consolidation, but then with the COVID, you know, popping up, and those more unique rounds became difficult to find as well. I mean, you know, the 380s disappeared, the 10mm, and so the manufacturers are going to be, you know, making those common rounds, right? My line of thought, and I'm thinking, you know, I think God, Family, and Guns, that channel, he did special on this talking about 10 calibers that are going to disappear, and the 41 action. What is that one called? The 41. He named the 30. The 32. He named a whole bunch of them that are just going to disappear, both handgun and rifle, I believe. But I think that's true. I think some of these are going to disappear with this ammo shortage and not ever be replaced unless you're a reloader. So I'm kind of going back to consolidation, going with the more popular rounds. And, I'm getting rid of my 40 sometime soon.
I was just thinking, myself, consolidation would be the way to go. But out of my small collection of what? Is it 10 or 11 firearms? Each one of them is a different caliber. I'm just, while you guys are talking, I'm sitting here thinking. I got the 45, the 9mm, the 38 special, the 9x18, the 22 mag, the 380, the 223, the 22 long rifle. That's my Winchester, and the 12 gauge shotgun. Yeah, every one of them just is a separate caliber. But reloading wise, like 9mm, I've only got one box because I rarely ever shoot that Beretta 92 I have. Very rare. I'm not gonna sell it, and somebody makes me a fantastic offer for it. But
I'll pray for you, Rick.
But I'm looking here at my dies. My main three were 45 Colt, 380, and 45 ACP. I got loads of those, right? But I'm going to start 223 once I can get some primers. So those are the four I will be reloading the most, and the rest of them I'll buy.
When you unmuted, Jason, I thought you were going to make Rick an offer on that Beretta 92.
That's what I was hoping for. I need some cash.
But,
all the wheels are turning.
Getting back to the obscure calibers, if somebody would have had a 32 ACP pistol for sale during this shortage, I may have bought it because that's one of the only calibers that's been consistently on the shelves around here is 32 ACP and 25 ACP.
Yeah. Clover, he's in the chat. How you doing? He goes, variety is the spice of life. This too shall pass. Do what you want to do. For me, I want a whole bunch of different calibers because they all have their own unique pleasures.
Every caliber has its intended usage, too.
Yeah. I buy a firearm because I want it. I don't buy it. Oh, I'm not going to buy it because it's not in the caliber that I'm shooting. So, unknown user said he started picking up mil serps. Yeah.
There's some things I do not need. I'd like to have, but do not need. Like, I don't need a 44 Magnum. 357 Magnum is good enough for me. It's what I can handle. I don't need a 500 Magnum or a 460. You know what I mean? There's just some things I don't need, so they're just not even on my shopping list.
Yeah. Oh, Tony asked me, trade for primers. Well, what do you want to trade? You got primers. What do you want of mine? Was he trying to get my bread out of me now? All right.
I wish I'd have known. I might have traded a unfired AR for it.
Yeah. That we might have made a deal on that one.
Yeah, if I'd have known. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the last one to know at the party.
Yeah. Hey, it's that, mind you, it's that Italian police trading. And I said mine. I've only fired maybe. I bought 2 boxes of 9mm when I got it. When I picked it up at the FFL, I bought 2 boxes of 9mm. I shot 1 box through it, and it looked like it's got a couple of scratches on the plastic grips it has on it. But otherwise, there's not a mark on the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the barrel looked like it never been shot,
Yeah. Sounds like you're a negligent owner to me.
Yeah. So,
You got something against Italians, Rick?
No. It was the 9mm I have a thing against. But now look, because I've become, because my hands have become, weak. I'm down to a 380, so I can't brag too much. I used to brag that, only men shoot 45 ACP, I can't do that anymore. Mind you, as I said that, I shot my I lie. I got 245 ACPs. My mistake. I got my Smith & Wesson, and I got my 1911. Forgot about that one. So I do have two guns in the same caliber. Now, my 1911 45, I can shoot that, and it doesn't hurt my hands too bad because it's so heavy. I have more trouble holding it up than I do with the recoil. It's because it's so heavy. Being a metal gun, it soaks up the recoil really good, so before it gets into my hands, So there we go. That's my excuse. But I know that 9mm never really interested me. I bought the Beretta because I wanted one, and at the time I couldn't afford, a brand new one. So that deal came up. I believe I bought it off of Bud's Guns, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, and they had it at a good price. It was under $300, and so I bought one. So.
Oh, so it's a 92S.
Yes. Yeah. It's because the mag release is at the bottom of the grip.
Mm-hmm.
But I said it's in great shape. As I said, it looks like it has a couple of scratches on the plastic grips. And so if a policeman had it, there's no wear on it from being in a holster or anything. So I don't know if it ever was in a holster. It just might be in the surplus they had laying around. Hey, fire was great out of the 50 rounds I've shot out of it.
Yeah, a good pistol whip across the teeth, it usually scratches your gun. You just have to deal with it.
Coffee and Guns and Ammo says for survival purposes, diversification is best. So, well, I guess in a way it's right. If you're in a shit hits the fan and you come across some ammo and it's for a caliber that I'm only shooting 9mm in 12 gauge in 223. And this guy happens to have 1,000 rounds of 357, but you took him out, and you don't have a 357. What are you going to do? Walk off and leave the 1,000 rounds? So.
Yeah, I need to get a shotgun myself. That is one area that I don't have my bases covered.
Now, I've got is it wrong to say this? I got a craving to get a 410. I don't know why. I just have. And I want that. And the one I'm looking at, and I can't afford it, is I want the lever action 410 from Henry.
That sounds like a good rifle.
Oh yeah, those are. It's not a rifle; it's a shotgun. But
well, you can slug it, can't
you?
Yeah, but it's still not a rifle. It's still smoothbore. But yeah, those are nice. I've got to handle those a couple times, and yeah, those are really nice, smooth action and whatnot on those.
Yeah, I don't know what I would use it for, but I just want one.
Use it for the pesky squirrels that throw things at you in the morning.
Yes, yeah. Talking about that, I gotta go out and do some. I'm walking up and down the street. Like I walk down to my mailbox, then I'll walk down to the end of the street and turn around and come back. Now the end of the street is only about another 25 yards past my mailbox. Then I turn around and come back I'm doing that to get back in shape since I can walk now without too much pain. You know, so I need to, but doing that walk, I get back and my driveway's at a slight slope. So by the time I get up the top of the driveway, my truck's sitting right there. I normally put my hand on the truck and I'm sort of like breathing heavy, like I'm dying of a heart attack. But I am out of shape, but I'm trying to get back in shape before I can, because I promised my cousin I go squirrel hunting with him on August 15th, first day of the season here in Indiana.
Does anybody make a semi-auto 410? Something a little more tactical?
Yeah, there's a AR 410, and it's pretty affordable. I think it's in the sub 500. Has like a 12-round magazine. I don't know the brand name of it, but I've seen a couple of them. I think there's 3 of them out there. Maybe 2 of them are Turkish.
Yeah. It's not a semi-auto, but Mossberg was, I don't know if they ever put it out in the market or not, but they were supposed to have a 410 Shockwave that was supposed to come out last year, but with everything going on, I don't know if it actually came out or not, but they had it at the Great American Outdoor Show last year.
Oh, Patriot in the Dark goes, are there lever action rifles that can shoot both the 410 and 45 long Colt?
It's not a lever gun, but you got the Rossi Circuit Judge shoots both.
Yeah. Now that's what G23 says. Get yourself a judge. But I got to go. I've watched what's his name, Paul Harold. That his name? Do a review on those. He don't think much of them.
Yeah, the short barrel judges are garbage. I'm sorry. I have never seen somebody have one of those at the range where the short barrel ones are accurate. You get the ones like the Raging Judge or something along those lines that have like the 6-inch barrel. They're a lot more accurate, but you're not going to be concealed carrying one of those either. The other thing that those are good for is a short range anti-snake gun. That's about it. I'm sorry. You won't see me owning one of those short barrel judges anytime soon.
Yeah, wasn't it? I think it was Hickok that did a video with shooting on them, and with different shot shells in it. Man, the lethal distance wasn't very far on that pistol. I mean, it wasn't that many feet or yards out where the rounds weren't even going through cardboard.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I want to check. New York Outcast, are you with us yet?
He's eating candy.
Well, you there in New York?
Should be.
Okay. I mean, before it sounded like you were outside doing something. You know?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So you got an answer to that original question on consolidation versus diversification? Is that what he said? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I consolidate guy. I like to keep things down. I'd say I like going for a few rounds versus, a crap load, I guess. So it's easier to stock, easier to shop for, in my opinion. If there's anything wrong with going the other way, it's just, it's more practical to me.
Yeah. We lost him again. So, all right, hang on. Where's my chat? I lost my chat. There we go. All right. Damn, it's 4:00 already. Jesus. I was very disappointed, guys, on my last quiz. I only got 2 or 3 entries on the Bass Reeves question. I thought more people would be into that. but they weren't. So
I only enter your quizzes every so often. You gotta give somebody else a chance.
I know.
You guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Did you hear me at all with that answer the second time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
I thought you couldn't hear me.
But you sort of stopped before. But you sort of just stopped them,
Sorry, I don't know where I was left off at, so I'll try a third time. I try to consolidate, I guess, keep a few calibers, stick with the NATO calibers, but I am cheap, so it just seems cheap and practical to me, because that ammo is most commonly found everywhere, and it's worked for battle, and my interests are for defensive purpose, not long distance shooting or anything along those lines or competition.
Yeah. So Patriot said, "Did I win your quiz?" No, because you didn't enter it, Patriot. If you did, your email never got to me. All right. I mean, but Rob, consolidating, it comes down to, as I was saying, if you come in a, I guess, defensive round, shit hitting the fan and all hell breaking loose. If you come across something and it's the caliber that you're not carrying, so it's, I guess you could still take it, I guess, and use it for swapping material.
Yeah.
What do you go?
You can't expect, I don't know, depending on that situation, you can't carry around 15 different calibers with you on your back either. So, it all kind of depends. But I think that would be a barter thing. And one of my NATO calibers could probably acquire me, other firearms in that situation. I wouldn't throw them away if I came across a different firearm or something in that manner either. So, but great barter items are possible for use.
All right.
Well, most police carry a 9mm, and most National Guard got a 5.56. So, if it ever gets rough and nasty around here, I appreciate you carrying that for me.
Yeah. Oh, Patriot in the dark, you didn't check your email. Yeah, I just checked my email. I see that you slipped that entry in after the deadline. But since I got so few entries, I'll let it slide. I just added you to the random picker. So there we go. I'm getting to the quiz in a minute. I'm just but now Tony out there, he's mainly a 44 guy and a 22 Magnum, I believe. That's about the only two he carries. So but no, to me, hey, the more the better. As I said, I don't carry, like my 38 special. To be honest with you, I only have maybe half a box of 38 special sitting in my thing right now. That's it. I haven't shot that thing in 2 years. It's loaded. All my guns are loaded, except for the AR because it's sitting on my stand from rndldisplays.com. And if you go there and order one, put in promotional code Rick's Life and get 15% off. So there we go.
What 38 do you have?
Oh, it's a Taurus. It's a Taurus Model 85, just a 38 special.
So it doesn't do 357?
No. It's only a 38 special. So, it's a nice little gun. It really is.
5-shot?
5-shot, yeah.
Okay, I know it. Need to get you some ammo and some speed loaders for that.
It's a snub nose thing, but the reason I don't shoot it because of all the guns I have, that's the one that hurts my hands the most.
Oh yeah, those little 38 snub noses. People think that those are easy to shoot. They can be a pain in the ass.
Why
especially
they
if you got one of the featherweight.
I do not know.
Yeah, the Lady Smith. yeah, no, that's not a good gun for a woman to start shooting with.
And then everybody takes those guns and loads them with 38 plus P because it's a 38 only gun. Yeah, that's a it's not so bad to shoot, really. It's the trying to do 2 or 3 shots fast is a problem. It's so snappy. It just wants to squirm right out of your hands. It's so the grips are, it's not exactly like modern day ergonomics on the grip of those guns.
Now, the grips that came with it is a rubber grip, which isn't too bad. I took them off and put nice, classy, brownish wooden grips. They were beautiful. Can't remember how much I paid for them. But damn, that hurt my hand so bad. I had those grips off of there as soon as I came home and put my rubber grip back on it, So.
Yeah, rubber grips might not be the prettiest, but you'll definitely enjoy them more on a little.
Yeah, but it still hurt. It still hurt my arthritic hands, So that's why I've shot it. Then my P64, the one, the 9x18, I haven't shot that in over 2 years either, and that's only because it gives me slide bite.
Yeah, those little Polish guns in Makarov. Yeah, those aren't the most fun things to shoot either.
Yeah, but I did find online a grip that you put on, and it would actually give you an actual beaver tail on it, which might make it better. I might get one of those eventually.
Yeah, you might be better off just looking for an actual Makarov too.
True.
But as far as the small little 38s,
buy an American gun, damn it.
You guys know about the issues I have with my elbow, and my wife had that 642, which is the airweight Smith & Wesson in 38 Special, and that's the one gun that my wife or I have owned that actually hurt my arm to shoot it because that thing was just so snappy.
Yeah. So I have these firearms that hurt to shoot, but I ain't selling them. I don't know why. Once I got it, it's, as I said, it's an obsession. I got it. I don't want to sell it. I would only sell one unless I absolutely had no other choice. I'd rather pawn it first. If I really needed something really that bad and tried to get the gun back.
Yeah. My wife sold that 642 because neither one of us were going to shoot it. It was like, I don't want to bother with that little thing.
Yeah, if it's no good to you, I don't see the point unless there's memorabilia was handed down to you, something like that. But if you can't really use it, it's just kind of like a paperweight.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you go, but you're a cheap ass anyway. So,
yeah, I got a 1 3/4 inch barrel 686. It might not be very practical, but man, it sure is pretty.
Yeah, well, nobody's ever going to look at a 642 and say it's pretty. I mean, it's got that aluminum frame, and then so it's not the prettiest gun in the world. It doesn't polish up real nice like your 686 does, Jason.
Yeah. Patriot in the Dark says he carries a 442 every day. Loves it. Yeah.
That's a steel gun too, if I remember correctly. So it's not the aluminum like the 642.
Oh, I thought it was an Oldsmobile.
Yeah, that's what
there's that too. Yeah. Well, we know Patriot isn't carrying an Oldsmobile. Come on.
Yeah.
He's a pretty tough guy.
Yeah.
You got to carry it because it don't run no more.
Yeah, he's not allowed to drive, so he wouldn't be carrying it. He probably the other way he'd be going anywhere with it, maybe.
But I'm still carrying my pimp gun, my 380. I love that gun. I really do. I'll sit there like when I'm dry firing in the evenings watching TV. I do this with most guns I have. You call me a pervert, I guess. I sort of like when I'm cleaning them or I'm shooting them, I sort of, is this the right word? I caress them.
Molester.
Yeah, he's out there molesting his guns just like Jason does.
You know.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with that.
I got my little what you call it. I got a couple, 2 or 3 of these all over the house.
As long as you get consent.
My gun rag here that's soaked in oil or whatever, and I rub them down with that, and make them nice and shiny and all that kind of good stuff.
At least Rick, at least Rick isn't out there fondling his guns and Bucky's beaver nuts at the same time like Gunsnuff.
So yeah, I know I'm kind of strange when it comes to my guns, but
too much gun oil can give you a rash.
I mean, like the other day, was it Wednesday? I said I took it off the wall and put it on the wooden stand there because I've been practicing with it. I mean, before I put it on there, I took this out and wiped it all over. All I did was putting it up to my shoulder and back down again. Trying to get the feel of it. I didn't fire it. I didn't dry fire it or anything. But I wiped it down with this thing, try to make it nice and shiny. So
it works.
So
just getting used to it. The manual of arms or whatever they want to call it, the weight of it, throwing it up in the pocket, bringing it up to having a reference point when you pull up. All that stuff's important in a sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm going to stick. I'm going to stick to my 380 for a carry gun. We're up into the high 80s now weather-wise here and I think starting tomorrow for the next 4 or 5 days, we're meant to be in the 90s here in sunny southern Indiana. So this big old fat boy, I'm wearing my short pants, showing my white legs. I know it's early, but
short pants.
Yeah, he's going to go visit that nurse at the hospital.
You got capris.
Between I know I'm early. Between Memorial Day and Labor Day, short pants are mandatory. Before and after, it's optional. So there you go.
Guys aren't supposed to wear capris, Rick.
I just I feel I just like wearing them in the summertime.
What do they call them in England? Knickers, knockers. What do they call them?
No, knickers were short. Were pants that just went below the knee, and you wore high socks over the top of them. I'm wearing short pants. What else do you call them?
Shorts.
Yeah, just shorts. In the U.S., we just call them shorts.
Okay, I'm wearing my shorts, but they're pants, aren't they, or jeans? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, over in the UK, shorts would actually be your underwear. So that's why you said short pants. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah. That's the Brit.
Damn, how long have you been in America? Come on, man.
But did you know when I went to British school, a lot of kids wore short pants to school. It was you either wore gray because I went to a private school. My parents paid for it. No, actually, my parents didn't pay for it. My grandparents paid for it. I went to a private school, and the uniform was you had to wear a white shirt, this yellow, red, and blue tie striped, white shirt, gray pants. You either wore gray long pants or gray short pants. Black socks, black shoes. And
knockers.
And you had to wear a blazer. Now, the blazer was the same color as the tie. It was red, yellow, and blue stripes. You see that in the crowd. Not only that is, you see your baseball hat here? We even had hats that were striped that you had to wear. You tie and your blazer on, and I always wore long pants when I was at school, but you had to go to school dressed up like that.
You got any photos?
What?
You got any photos?
No, I don't. My sister might have some. My sister might, because everything when my parents, because I've lived over here, and when my mother passed away when she was only 45 or something. I was in my 20s. So everything went to my father. And then when he passed away, what was it, 10, 11 years ago? Everything went to my sister, who still lives over there. And she might have some of me from back in those days. You know?
Yeah, you got to get him to mail you a few pictures. We got to see this.
You know? Yeah, oh yeah. Fray's, I mean, the school's not there anymore. It was Fray's College in Uxbridge, Middlesex. And that's when I used to catch the double-decker bus to school. You know? And
is that the Middlesex that's near Heathrow?
Yes.
Okay, I got a buddy lives over in that town.
Okay. Yeah, and but when you got into the fifth form, it's and that's basically almost that's like being a senior in high school. Is on the blazers you could get rid of the striped blazer and wear a black one, solid black. And so in my fifth year, that's what I wore, a black one.
Yeah, see, what Rick isn't telling us is he was in House Gryffindor when he was in school.
Yes, I was. No, laughing and joking here. I know we're totally off topic, but laughing and joking. This school, Fray's College, right, we had it was 5 floors high, and each floor had maybe 2 or 3 classrooms on it. So you had the stairway, you had to climb up to get to them, but we had wooden desks that were benched. You had a bench-like seat. It was 2 people, bench-like seat, wooden desk and it would open up, and it still had the inkwell in it, you know, for your pens. And I mean, I remember opening it up, and it had somebody's name in there from 1938. It was an old school, you know.
Yeah, the Cathedral Learning at the University of Pittsburgh has one of those old style British classrooms with that style desk in it.
Yeah. Then our chemistry, the chemistry lab, or it'd be science lab, I guess they call it today, but was actually downstairs in the basement, you know. And I mean, and down in the basement was the chemistry lab. Then was the cafeteria, and it was in a big giant hall with tables going down the center, and the teacher sat up front, just like in Harry Potter. I'm telling you, that was the school I went to. You know, it was old. You know. And in my last year there, I got in a lot. I mean, I used to get in trouble because what happened was I had left when my father got stationed to Clark Air Base in the Philippines. I left that English school and went to an American school. And when I came back, I got put back in that British school, and I couldn't adjust from wearing jeans and T-shirts and tennis shoes to school.
We ruined you.
To going back to wearing a uniform. I just couldn't conform. I was in trouble. I mean, I got caned. I got put in detention. The teacher back in those days, they used to cane you in school, and also the teachers had a great habit on the chalkboards. You know, those rubber they use those brushes, whatever, to wipe off the chalk. They would throw that at you if you were talking or causing trouble, and they would hit you in the head or in the chest, and you get chalk powder everywhere. You know, that wasn't child abuse back in those days. I'm talking about this was the early 70s now, is where I'm going. It's when I was at this school.
So at one time, it might have been fun to be a teacher.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I had one teacher that our history teacher, and what she would do if you misbehaved, like if she caught you talking, she'd warn you to shut up, or you done something wrong. She'd warn you 2 or 3 times, and eventually she would say, "That's it. Put your hand out," and she'll make you hold your hand out flat open, right? And then she had a wooden ruler, right? And she would bam across your fingers for punishment. Yeah, so that's the school I went to. And I turned out okay. Look at me.
See, when you were trying to readapt, you should have just took a guitar with you and you could have pretended you were Angus Young and you would have been fine.
Yeah, you're right. But I said it was, but that was, I'd laugh when you said Harry Potter. That school was just like it. It really was. Going up and down the stairs and then down into the dungeon where the chemistry was and where we used to eat lunch in the big hall. Because everybody went to lunch at the same time, and then we all sat at these 3 tables. And the teachers were up the front.
So did you have a werewolf teaching you protection from the dark arts?
It was then, like in American school, every beginning of every year or whatever, every term, you go buy your notepads to write in or your note paper or whatever. There, you're given little booklets. They're sort of like, I don't know, about so big for each subject. And the school supplied them along with all the, books like they do in the school. What's the book that you read out of when you're doing the class? Can't even the name of it now.
Textbook?
Yeah, textbook. Yeah. They were also all that supplied by the school, but you had to go to the very
Diagon Alley.
We had almost, but no, ours was up in the attic. There was a room up there. You had to go, and what you would have to turn in the full book that you were doing your homework in or whatever. You had to turn that in, then you get a new one, a fresh one for the thing. It was weird. It was really weird, So then you get your textbooks up there. It was kind of strange. But when we had a break in the mornings, the milkman, see, you got to remember, it's kind of strange. They had because the British milkmen, with the electric machine when they carry the milk bottles to the thing. Well, he would come to the school at break time, and in the back of his truck, he would open it up, and he had all the candy bars and snacks and stuff. He used to make a killing off of us, So.
Yeah, I'm sure your teachers appreciate that. All you kids getting hyper on chocolate.
Oh yeah. So. Then, of course, when we played sports like rugby or soccer, football as it was called in England, or cricket, the school didn't have any fields like that. We had to go up to Uxbridge Common, it was called. Common's just a big open field, basically. We used to go up there to do all them kind of sports. And we used to walk up we had to walk up. It was uphill all the way, too. We had to walk up there wearing we even had a uniform for sports. It was, I'm trying to think what it was. What color? I think they were black shorts, short pants. The shirt was red, the school colors, red, yellow, and blue shirt. That's what we had to walk about a mile up to the common.
Yeah. When I was in elementary school, we had a gym uniform. It was a yellow T-shirt with blue shorts because that was the school colors, and then you had writing in blue, the blue print, which had the school's name. And then there was a box in the middle of the shirt where your parent had to write your name in, like it was a name tag on your T-shirt.
Yeah. So that's and I used to, the way we used to walk, used to go past my grandmother's house. So we'd go past, and I always wave at my grandmother as I went past. Because she was the one that was paying for it.
We had in gym was the fact that you're oh, what the hell? Your balls can't be hanging out of your shorts. That's about it.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you
I
didn't have
always
shorts or thing where stuff was hanging around, and
yeah.
there was no, no dress codes through my school.
Yeah. Well, where I went to elementary school between second and third grade, because I went to first grade, I went to a standard kindergarten and first grade. I went to a standard public school. Then second and third grade went to what was called a magnet school in Pittsburgh. A lot of other places would call them charter schools, basically. So we actually had a gym uniform that we had to wear. And then the fourth and fifth grade, we were going to a private Christian school. So
Yeah. So
didn't have any there.
yeah. Yeah. So that was my school career. And I went to England in English school. It was different. It was definitely different.
Explains a lot.
Yeah, yeah. But when we played cricket, playing cricket is better than watching cricket. And even when I played it, I never understood the rules. It's a strange game, but they wouldn't let me bowl because I would throw it like a pitch, and that's against the rules. Because you got to when you bowl, you've got to throw it overhand, and I would throw a pitch. So every time I threw one, it was it was a no ball. So they stopped. They wouldn't let me do that anymore.
Yeah, so you sidearmed it. In baseball, a pitch is still an overhand throw.
Yeah, but
sidearm pitch.
But no, I mean here. But you wind up and they put the arm back there, and then they come. This is literally you're down here, and it's literally your arm is straight out, like over like that for a pitch. It's weird. It's not. It's not nothing like a pitcher pitches, But they can make that. Professional cricket players, I mean, they get up there at speeds like baseball players, 100 miles an hour and stuff. But
I was in Antigua, and they had the West Indies cricket championship there at the Sticky Wicket, and it was quite a bit of fun. It went on 4 days, so there's no business meetings there the whole time I was there. But then I got invited into that high-end club, and everybody was there, so it was the best business meetings you could have.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we've gone way off topic, talking about history about myself again. You guys know more about me than Mike's wife, I think. All right. Anyway, let me give them a quiz. So, my last quiz that's been running for 2 weeks. I wanted to know what happened to Bass Reeves in 1887. He was arrested, and I wanted to know what for. Well, I got a little thing here. Let me read this to you. One of the most bizarre episodes in Reeves' life came in 1887 when he killed his own camp cook while they were out on patrol. Several tales have been told about the death, and at this late date, it is difficult to determine the true facts. One story claims that the two men argued over the cook's abuse of a stray dog. They had been traveling along with them. According to the tale, the cook supposedly poured hot grease on the dog and was shot by Reeves for his abuse of the animal. Another explanation of the killing was that Reeves was sitting in camp working on his rifle when the gun discharged and the bullet hit the cook in the neck. Regardless of the actual facts, Reeves did everything he could to get the cook to medical attention, which unfortunately came too late. The upshot of the episode is that Reeves was charged and tried for murder in Judge Parker's court, and he was acquitted of all wrongdoing. On top of that, Judge Parker saw it that Reeves was back to work as a deputy U.S. Marshal. And if I remember correctly, he had over 3,000 arrests. And I think in the line of duty, he killed 14 outlaws or something like that. And he was never wounded.
Yeah, he was probably the best deputy that Isaac Parker had working for him at that time. I mean, Reeves, he was fearless, and best thing and best part of the story about Reeves is he was completely illiterate. He used to memorize the pictures, and like he knew his numbers, but he couldn't read, so he memorized pictures and the weight and height and everything. Eventually, he would teach himself to read somewhat just by using the wanted posters. But when he first started, he couldn't read a word, and he still was able to apprehend over 3,000 people.
Yeah, but because
it's an incredible story. If you
originally he was, from what I understand, he was a slave and he escaped.
Yeah, he was a former slave.
Indian nation.
Yeah, he was a former slave and he escaped to the Indian Territory and became a lawman and eventually ended up working for Isaac Parker in the Indian Territory. And the reason why Isaac Parker had a bunch of deputies that worked that area. We would call it Oklahoma today, for those that don't know. But that's where all the outlaws would go and hide because it was Indian Territory. The local authorities didn't have any jurisdiction to go in there, but the federal government did. So Isaac Parker was a federal judge, and he would send in the U.S. Marshal Service that worked underneath him, which would be like Bass Reeves and some other guys. Bill Tillman was one of them, Bass Reeves and a couple other guys. They would go into the Oklahoma Territory, and they would bring back these outlaws to be tried in Parker's court.
Yeah, that's it. So anyway, I said I only have 2 or 3 entries. Now it's 3 or 4. So let me hit my random picker here and see who wins. Oh man, I don't believe this thing. I reckon this guy, and it's not Patriot, but I reckon this guy must have control of this random picker, some software he breaks into it or something. Because when he enters, he doesn't enter every time, but when he does enter, he wins every time. John Brown Productions is the winner. I said he doesn't enter every quiz, but every quiz he enters, he wins. You know, I reckon it's fixed. It's rigged. He's got it rigged somehow. You know, I think he gets in there and changes with the algorithm on the actual random picker I use. So you're the winner, John Brown Productions. He was in here earlier, I believe. I think. But anyway, he's the winner. So let me write that down before I forget.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I was going to say one more note about Bass Reeves is he was even when he quit working for Isaac Parker, when Oklahoma became a state, he became a law officer in the town that he lived in Oklahoma. And he retired. He was forced to retire in his 80s, if I remember correctly. Notice I said in his 80s because he developed a rare kidney disorder. And not long after he retired, he died from it. He was a lawman for the vast majority of his life.
Yeah, I think he only retired for 48 years or something like that.
Yeah, he only retired was because he was forced to. He had no choice in the matter. Physically, he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I remember correctly, at one time, he had to go arrest his own son because he murdered his wife. Accidentally, I believe, but he had to go arrest his own son.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember part of the story I read, you know. So anyway, for the next quiz, I do have a question. And because I'm doing these 2 weeklies because I'm running out of swag. And this one will be for the 5th of June. Damn. May's almost over already. Will be for the 5th of June. Now, this one is what I want to know. You guys more like get this. But in the Weston, Big Jake, I want to know the name, the breed, and yeah, that would do. You know, there was something else special about the dog too. So, but I want the breed and the name of the dog in Big Jake. So, and if you want to add the added bonus, I want to know Oh, actually, no. Make this part of the question. I want to know what the dog's real name was. So there we go. I want the name, the breed, and his real name from the movie Big Jake. And that starred John Wayne, by the way, if anybody didn't know.
Yeah.
So email me at rickslifeasIseeit@gmail.com or spawnedrick@gmail.com.
Yeah. John Wayne, Patrick Wayne, Chris Mitchum, Bruce Cabot. Yeah, a bunch of people in that movie.
Yep. Yeah.
Ethan Wayne. Ethan Wayne played his grandson. His son played his grandson.
Yep. There was a lot of Waynes in that movie.
Yeah, 3 of them.
Yeah.
3 that I can remember anyway.
Yeah. Even at there, I mean, because I think when that was made in 1971, I believe, or 73.
Yeah, it was one of Duke's last movies.
Yeah. I mean, he was up there in age, and so was what's her name, but she was too hot, in my opinion.
Catherine O'Hara. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was always a beautiful woman.
Yeah. So, okay. That's it. You guys got anything else you want to talk about?
Or Maureen O'Hara. Catherine O'Hara is a different actress. Yeah. Maureen O'Hara. And she did quite a few movies with John Wayne.
Oh, yeah. She did.
Yeah, she was the most frequent leading lady of his.
Yeah. I mean, she done those early cavalry movies.
Yeah.
I remember one. I can't remember the name, but one when his son joined the army or whatever.
Rio Bravo.
Yeah, and stuff like
that. No, not Rio Bravo. Rio Grande.
Yeah.
Rio Bravo was the one with Ricky Nelson and Dean Martin.
Yeah. Then of course wasn't she in the sort of like comedy one?
Yeah, McClintock.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in McClintock.
There was quite a few she was in, actually.
Quiet Man.
Yeah.
The one where he played the Navy aviator who was responsible for coming up with the aircraft carriers and everything. She was in that. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was the one where his character gets paralyzed and everything, so he couldn't fly anymore, and he goes to Washington, comes up and helps design the aircraft carriers and everything. The first ones. That was a good movie too, bio documentary.
Yeah.
She played his wife in that one. They were in quite a few movies together.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to wind this down because my cats are sitting here waiting patiently to be fed. And I tell you what, my vet told them for me, they have dry food out all the time. I know you're not do it because a cat will eat if you put food out, but I do it anyway. But anyway, I was told to feed them wet food twice a day, in the morning and the evening. Not a lot, maybe, 3 ounces or so. That's it. Just a little tub of it. But he told me to feed them Fancy Feast. Right? Well, my local store ran out of it. And so I got, what was the cat food I got? Meow Mix in these little tubs. Right? The little 2.75 ounce tubs. Right? Now, when I fed them the Fancy Feast, every time I went to, I'll go pick the dishes up, they would leave some. They would never finish it. I would put them on this cheap-ass Meow Mix, and those cats are clearing those plates. They're licking them clean.
Hey,
I started on that.
Remember the old Meow Mix commercials? Cats asked for it by name.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, and it's cheaper. So, hell, I'm going to stick to that. They like it so much. So, all right. Hey, Squib's joined us. Hey, Squib.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I kind of got a little bit of phone difficulties here. Yeah, that's very Night Strike of you to, not acknowledge me for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I do apologize. I got carried away talking.
Don't apologize. It's a sign of weakness. It's your show. You should be saying, screw you, I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Never apologize, mister. It's a sign of weakness. Yeah. Great movie there, too.
Yeah. Anyway, the show's about over, Squib. And most of my topics were on stuff that Travis stole off of me. He used them this morning. So, just
Oh, you mean all the fear mongering and panicking over ammo and all that other garbage?
Well, talking about because he showed that shelf full of ammo at his local store, and I said I talked about his ammo back or whatever, and then I wanted to know if you don't go shooting, do you lose your edge? You know.
Okay, so for the people who don't know how to use a gun, yes, they lose their edge. And for the people who know how to use a gun, no, they don't. As far as the ammo being back, it's back. You can have people in certain areas or people who don't shop online who say, I don't see it, but it's back, but it's still high price. So is it really back? No, not really. At the end of the day, though, we all have options and we all make choices. And if you're making your choices at the 11th hour, you're going to pay that 11th hour price. I would like to hunt with a different caliber this coming fall, but I'm probably not. I can just go back to old reliable and I'll be just fine. And there's a lot of other people like that as well. And there's other situations too that we could all be ready for or we could not. And the people who aren't are the ones that are whining. But there's a lot of YouTube channels out there that all they have to do is put the word ammo in the title of their video and they can talk about anything. And I'm not necessarily talking about Caliber Corner this morning, but there's just like anything else. If you create hype, you get views. And there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are self-serving and they're not really being responsible in the 2A community or in the gun community. And that's kind of what's generating some of this stuff. If you bought a gun that's of a caliber that you do not own, and now you're struggling to find ammo for it, that's something you're going to have to deal with. But you already have guns that you should have ammo for. Just keep shooting those. And when the ammo comes back everywhere and it comes down to a normal price or a more normal price, then at that point you can shoot that new gun. It's not going to hurt it to let it sit and gather dust. I know it's going to drive you nuts, but I mean, that's the reality of it.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from. It's driving me nuts that I can't go out there and shoot mags and mag loads of 223 because I don't have it. You know, so I have to wait till it comes back. You know, so there we go. All right, I'm going to wind this down anyways. I said my cats are sitting here patiently, so we'll start with Rich. You got any shout outs or plugs?
Yeah, I got a couple plugs. Tonight at 9:05 Eastern on the Untitled Media Channel, you can check out the wrestling show where we'll talk something classic wrestling or modern wrestling and maybe something else that comes up. Don't know. We'll see for sure when we get there. But
you start off with wrestling anyway.
Yeah, we start off with wrestling, then we always end up diverging into something else. It seems anymore, especially if Squid shows up and decides he wants to be on the panel. He takes us off track. We might end up talking about Fieros or something. Who knows? But yeah, and then tomorrow night around 8:30 on the same channel, we'll have This Week Unloaded. So check that out too.
All right, great. New York Outcast, you got anything?
Yes, thanks for joining us, and have a great day, everybody.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, rnldisplays.com. If you want a beautiful stand like I have back here in my AR, it even has a wall bracket you could use too. You know, go to the website, use my discount code of Rick's Life and get 15% off. How's that, Squib? Yeah. All right, Jason, you got anything? Shout outs or plugs?
No, thanks for the invite. Good conversation as always. Good to see everybody. Hopefully it's a nice day where you're at. It's beautiful weather here. So try to enjoy your Saturday afternoon. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks. All right, Will and Well Armed. You got anything? Talk to me. Hit your mute button.
Kids got them buried.
Yeah, must have. All right, Squib, you got anything?
Didn't I just say it?
No, I just want to know if you had any plugs or shout outs, you know?
I don't know. Watch Rich's show.
All right. And don't forget my 15% discount code at rnldisplays.com. Rick's Life is the discount code for 15% off. So there you go. All right. You back with us yet, Will and Well Armed?
Yep, back here. Sorry about that. Had some
That's right.
distractions.
You got any shout outs or plugs?
Yeah, I did a video on a Browning high power in mint condition from '93. It's a Browning Mark III, and then I did another brand new old 1989 freebie in real good condition as well, like new in a box without a box. But anyway, shooting those, and they shoot perfect. Green triggers. The Browning high power has something to be desired. It could use some work, but fun to shoot and real accurate.
All right, great. All right, I think I got everybody, didn't I? So, all right, I want to say thank you to the people in the chat for sticking with us on this Saturday afternoon, listening to my old British school days when I was at Hogwarts, and I tell you, when I watch, because I like those Harry Potter movies, and when I watch them, that's all it does. It brings back my school days to me. You know,
my wife's been watching the Harry Potter movies, going back through them again this past week, and when you just started describing it, that's the first thing went off in my head. So I had to throw Gryffindor out there.
Yeah, yeah. But I said, but our lunch hall was like that. We had 3 tables down the length of it. Then at the top, across the front, that's where the teachers sat, just like in the movies. Oh, anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody for being here, and it's always good to see all of you. And I'll be back again next Saturday. But in the meantime, I will be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. with our Shooting with Disabilities show, which I do try to keep it the disabilities, but we don't always. That's where we start off, but it changes very quickly normally. But anyway, that's at 7 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. But besides that, I'll be back next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So, with that said, I want to say so long, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Bye, Sabrina.
Eat a salad.
Bye-bye.